Stream guys, ready for the next one.
All right, round 2.
Round 2. Let's see if it's working, boys.
Oh yeah. Here
How good are we? Oh, there we go. Perfect, perfect.
And Gaara starts singing.
I'm mad that I'm still mad Gaara's in the middle.
Hello.
I don't want to
I'm
be in the
supposed to
middle.
be the host here asking questions, and he gets the hot seat. So
It's alright, man. We'll just grill him the most.
this is actually roast me, and Gaara is up first. So,
Ooh.
Dino, what do you got prepared for Gaara tonight?
That's a lot of things everyone can do, bro. I'm scared.
I don't know, we're supposed to be a team. I haven't fucking seen him in a month.
Yeah, Gaara, we barely see him. He hardly ever talks in staff chat, even though he's the COO.
Dude, I talk in staff
you
chat.
know. The CEO years for fucking 3 days.
I haven't seen one picture of you flipping off us, or flipping us off.
I almost did it.
Well,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
fair enough.
Alright, so
Gaara did it.
first off, this is going to be the official episode 1 of the Tier 1 Talks podcast. The other one was pretty much just like a test preseason episode is what we're calling it. So if you haven't seen that one's already on the Tier 1 Esports YouTube. And that was about 50 minutes of me, Dino, PeeZy, and Zyro. And there's some good points in there. Mr. PeeZy's kid coming in and stealing the spotlight for a little while. And Dino's cat, she looked like Mr. Evil over there with her cat. So that was interesting. But this is the first live episode, so this is going to be the start of the season. Essentially, we're going to be doing these podcasts every week. They will range in time from 50 minutes to an hour and a half, depending on what we're doing. We'll be bringing on different guests, competitive players, streamers, org owners, anything esports related. We'll be bringing them on and having them come onto the show for you guys, for us to talk to, and you guys as well in the chat. So today we have Mrs. Dino again. She is one of the stream team directors for Tier 1 Esports. We have Zyro. He has recently been brought on as a manager. He handles the content side of things. And we got Gaara, the COO of Tier 1. He helps a lot with the competitive teams and the esports side of things. And then we have Chubby, who has been on the stream team for a little while now. And yeah, so that's who we got today. So first point. First thing for tonight, I had to take my sip of water. My throat's getting there. I just got done being sick, so my voice is like still coming back.
Excuses for being.
Oh, by the way, chat, you can ask questions in the chat, and we will be reading them when we get in between points. So you can have those lined up for us, and we'll be reading them. So first one, I'm gonna have this one for Chubby, since you're the new guy on the show right now.
Yep.
We talked about it a little bit. These first couple points we talked a little bit about in the last episode, but obviously, like I said, that was a little bit of a preseason. And Gaara and Chubby weren't on that one. So we're going to start with you, Chubby. Where were you when you discovered Twitch?
Okay, when I discovered Twitch, it must have been long ago. It was back in my Xbox days, so I want to say like probably 4, maybe 5 years ago. Just hearing about competitive gameplay and somehow it being like live streamed as if it were like an actual like sports event, and I thought that was like, you know, it was so cool. I never had the opportunity to like see a sports like an esports event in person or anything like that, and now I had the chance to watch it online. So I, you know, started getting into it. Then I learned that it was more than that. It was more about like, you know, entertaining, have one person like being the center of the show while also playing a video game or doing other activities as well.
And when did you start, like how long ago was it when you started streaming regularly?
I would say like I made the decision to stream about like April of this year, and when I started to like actually enjoy it, like get more involved with it as far as making everything like custom with my logo, overlays, just little bits and pieces that go into streaming, I decided like, you know, this is something I really do want to pursue. I'm so sorry, my cat is playing with something. But yeah, like I just had a lot of fun with it. Like I never like recorded any kind of video or like any kind of gameplay before, And I know when it comes to recording any kind of video, I get a little picky of like how it ends up because I'm a perfectionist at times. So I thought, like, live video, it's not too bad. I won't be able to edit it, so I'll just do things on the fly. But yeah, like I started with one game just to like dip my toe into like the streaming game and learn more things about it with the people that I like come to know till this day, and just watching a lot of YouTube videos as far as tutorials, and I got really invested in it, like how much you can like really personalize your stream to represent like who you are. Like that's always been something cool to me.
Yeah, start getting that little community, the same guys that are always jumping in your stream, so you kind of build that connection with them.
Right.
And then Gaara, I know you don't stream as much, but when was it when you kind of discovered esports and Twitch?
Oh, I discovered esports in Twitch. It'd have to be around like Gears of War, when the original Gears of War it would have to be. I mean, that's when I first like got into like Twitch, like watching like tournaments, stuff like that, like players play, because people used to stream their scrims and everything like that. That's when I got into Twitch, and then like Rainbow Six is when I like really started to stream. Like I wanted to stream a little bit because like, okay, I'm good at this game. Like a lot of people like, hey man, you're pretty good. Oh, why not stream, man? It was fun. So I streamed when I made CL, and I started about a month in. I got an affiliate.
Hold on. And CL is Challenger League, which is essentially the semi-pro division for the Pro League ran by ESL.
Yeah, I started streaming and everything like that because I bring a pickup squad together, and we just blew by the qualifying bracket, just like destroyed everybody. And I was like, oh, for sure, dude. And I streamed a third place match for the first time, and then Kid Skies retweeted my tweet, and then I just got all these freaking followers because of him, man. And like it was pretty cool. I was like, okay, I can just stream this stuff. I was like, yeah, it's fun. But I haven't been streaming lately. I just been trying to get back into the Rainbow Six scene, and like my computer can't handle freaking Rainbow Six for streaming at all.
Yeah, that's a big thing with streaming is computer parts, and feels like every year you're having to upgrade something. You think a part's gonna last you a little while, but you're always having to work on getting new parts, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
grind is real.
Like, no, dude.
No,
the grind is real. But sometimes it works, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I stream Rainbow and it works perfectly. Then other days it's like, no, I don't want to work. I want to drop your frames, and like, oh fuck it, dude. It makes like you can't shoot someone. Trust me, man. It's hard to shoot someone when you're lagging in Rainbow.
Yeah, that's the thing with competitive games and streaming.
Been there.
Is streaming tanks a lot of your performance. So if you're playing a competitive shooter and you're playing some ranked in Rainbow, you ain't trying to lose. You're not trying to get shit on. So it
And I don't want viewers to see that, me getting smacked.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then Dino, just a refresher, when was the first time that you learned about Twitch and got involved with it?
I've been on and off with streaming and everything like that for probably a year and a half to 2 years, but I actually didn't really focus on streaming until March when I got affiliated. So that's pretty much it.
And then Zyro, what about you?
Zero.
Zyro.
I started streaming at an age when I guess it was like right when the Twitch age was, whether you were allowed to stream. I'm not gonna say because I'm not sure if that's correct or not. But I first found Twitch 13, maybe it was a year before that, maybe hypothetically. But I probably found Twitch, I don't know, like when I don't know the exact year, but whenever that like the Minecraft prison stuff became big and stuff like that with Skydo's Minecraft and stuff. Yeah. That was kind of it for me.
Yeah. For me, it had to be because do you guys remember when it was called Justin? I think it was Justin TV.
Justin TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
Right as it switched over to Twitch is when I learned about it, because that's actually when I first got into esports in general. Because, we kind of talked about it last podcast. Is a lot of us kind of had the same experience with those like early Optic gaming days. with the Call of Duty team and the content they were producing. Well, their big thing is obviously they streamed a lot, and that was right as Justin TV became Twitch. So I kind of learned about that, and I believe MOG was trying to do the same thing with MOG TV around the same time, kind of like around Black Ops 2 era. And so that was like a big thing between a lot of the COD players, is because MLG wanted to partner with them to only stream on MLG TV. And then I just remember all the conversation about, you know, Justin TV going to Twitch and that versus MLG TV. Ultimately, MLG TV kind of failed, but yeah, I remember that was like early on, before Twitch became the mainstream app that it is now.
Yeah, I remember those days when COD pros were contracted under MLG and they wanted to go to Twitch so bad. There was like a big fight between them having to do that and wanting to do this. And
yeah, because they would essentially be
confusion.
contracted for a year, 2, 3 years under MLG, and you know they would make money, but Twitch, just the perks of Twitch with the donations, the subs, at the time, everything that Twitch does now was like, you know, far superior to all the other streaming services. So I think that's why it blew up and became what it was. And then Chubby, you stream obviously, but how involved are you with competitive esports?
Competitive esports, I dabble a little bit. I'm a fan of Cloud9, mainly because of my cousin. He was a fan before me, and that's when I got introduced to like the big names like Shroud, Skadoodle, Stewie2K. Like just seeing clips here and there of like their amazing plays and comebacks, and just like past tournaments and all that. I got involved in that like early on. I never played CS:GO, but I played CS:GO. I'm just not good at it.
Yeah,
no,
it's tough.
But also, involvement with esports is also I want to say it also goes back to, I guess I want to say a year and a half ago. So I'm in California, and I am very, very close to Santa Ana, where the very first like esports arena was made. And they recently made a new branch out in Vegas and somewhere up north, and like experiencing that like firsthand, it was awesome. Like honestly, seeing hundreds of people all gather in one building to like watch a tournament, whether it was Street Fighter, Super Smash Brothers, Call of Duty, CS:GO, like it was awesome seeing the crowd of people and how many people were involved, and like just it. I never experienced anything like that. I always like saw it online or on television, and is like I don't know. It just makes me really happy, like seeing everybody like come together to watch like people play video games on a very professional and competitive level.
Yeah, and it's crazy, especially with CS:GO, League of Legends, especially all the Asian teams with Dota and League. They fill entire arenas, and like it's sold out stadiums, and it's just insane to see. North America is like just now kind of getting on that. You saw with some of the CS:GO stuff just recently, they've been selling out. Call of Duty's been selling out some stadiums recently, so it's good to see that the North American scene's kind of jumping on the same thing when it comes to esports. But changing subjects here onto the next topic, what is some of your favorite streamers to watch? Dino, we can start with you. You're on the other side of the screen from me, so we can start with you, Dino. Who are some of your top streamers that you watch regularly?
Actually, if you had asked me this question probably a month ago, I would have had very different answers. But I've started to watch a lot of smaller streamers. So any of my friends who are streaming, I'll tend to hang out in their stream for like lurking purposes or anything like that. But like looking at my following list now, like Shroud, Summit, Sandy Ravage, Wadu, and then I have a couple partners who don't really have that big of a view count anymore, so I'll still hang out with them, and a lot of them know me very well, or I've played with them before. It'd be like Guns or Ninja with Noel, Cartman Let's Plays, who's a German streamer actually. pretty much it. I'll watch just about anybody and everyone.
So you're not really picky as to like what game or style streamer or.
No, not really.
And
If it's
then,
a new game, sorry.
No, go ahead.
If it's a new game, I'm usually watching the bigger streamers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're always like
On top
straight
of it.
through, and yeah, exactly on top of it, and getting right into every little detail about it. But yeah.
Zyro, what about you?
I guess I watch like for big streamers like Scump, a little bit of Courage here and there, Maniac, Midnight a little bit, and then I kind of watch smaller streamers like everybody in Tier 1 and some of my friends and stuff like that. But I don't really, I haven't really watched streams lately. I've been more on like the YouTube kind of thing. But yeah, I don't really watch huge streamers all the time. I pretty much always watch small streamers.
We got Burley dropping the Shroud forehead emote. So
Yeah, I see.
I'm assuming that he's a Shroud fan. But Chubby, Gaara, who do y'all watch? What y'all's go to?
Well, yes, both.
Gaara's muted.
So.
Yeah, he's muted.
Funny, I had to do it because little girl over there was banging stuff, so I was like, no. Good.
Oh.
But no, I really don't watch streamers. I watch Tier 1. I'll hop in a couple people from Tier 1 channel, say hi, what's up, how you doing, and everything like that. But who I like to that I think is hilarious though is Dr. Lupo, bro. Dr. Lupo's humor
Oh yeah.
to me is just priceless, bro. Like it's
so
just
funny.
like, bro, he just is a fucking troll. I'm so sorry, a troll. A troll. Sorry. Yeah, it's that's like. Don't really watch anyone. I'll hop in Dino stream, sometimes Chubby stream, I don't know, PeeZy stream.
PeeZy's hilarious to watch.
Yeah, PeeZy's hilarious.
PeeZy is, oh god.
Drinking his margaritas and stuff. It's like,
PBRs.
He hasn't been drinking in over a week.
Is he okay?
Wow. Okay.
oh shit.
Is somebody check on him? Like,
Yeah. Well, I wonder what he's doing right now.
somebody?
We need to go send some help.
Alright.
Not
Oh,
bad.
What about
geez.
you, Chandler? What about you?
Honestly, PeeZy is a spaz. Yeah, PeeZy cracks me up. He's definitely underrated when it comes to just watching it for like pure humor. He may suck at video games, but he's funny doing it. So don't tell him I said he sucked.
You can tell him I said that.
So this is kind of an interesting question. Who do we want to start with? Gaara, we'll start with you actually. You are the old man within the group, so interesting to see your point of view on this. What did you want to do for a living as a child?
Oh, I mean, I wanted to design video games, bro. I mean, that was my passion, like, always. Like, I went to school for it, too. Like, I went to school for it. Like, I dropped out of college for it, and, like, because, like, it's just expensive and shit, dude. So, I mean, I couldn't afford it. And, I mean, that's what I really wanted to do. Just make video games. I know
Is that
it's...
still what you want to do eventually?
I mean, it's like I just like learning programs, man. Like I like okay, for video game design, dude. Like I learned Maya, I learned Photoshop, like I learned the Unreal Engine. Like I made a little level for like school and everything like that.
Yeah.
I was good with that. It was my passion. I stayed at school for hours and hours at end, just trying to perfect it and everything like that. I mean, I do it sometimes on side. I have all the programs on my computer right now. Right now, I'm like learning editing, After Effects, and like Premiere Pro.
But life gets busy with working kids.
Man, dude, it's crazy. Like, I never thought I would have kids, and like, it's hard to balance so much. You know, like
Yeah.
I want to do so much. Like right now, I've been serving since I've been in college. Like I've been doing it. It's good money, you know. Like it's really good money. I'm good at what I do. Of course, I want to get back in game design, but I got 2 kids to take care of, so.
Barely.
I know somebody in my school that has that dream. Oh god, kids these days.
Yeah, that's
It's quick money, man. Shit.
It is.
PG
But just
show,
like- just-
PG show.
Oops.
I'm not gonna say
Sorry,
that.
God, Burley.
Dino said, I'm not gonna say nothing. Dino, what about you? What did you want to be as a kid?
I've always had a passion for cooking ever since I was able to walk and talk. I don't know why, my grandmother gave me a knife. So I've always been cooking, and I've always been in the industry and everything like that. And then streaming on top of that is just a bonus, I guess. Like eventually I'm gonna be doing some cooking streams and whatever, and I'm good at cooking. So, I mean, if anyone's going to TwitchCon next year, PeeZy and I are having a steak cooking contest. I'm gonna kick.
I don't like steak. I'm the only person in the world that doesn't like steak. Holy crap!
What
I'll
are
be
you
taste tester.
Okay, we need another guest on podcast.
I don't like how chewy it is. It's just
Do a cooking stream. Dino, are we gonna do
I'm
that?
so ready for that poutine.
It was TwitchCon you guys were gonna do the
TwitchCon
competition.
2019.
So we're gonna do a live stream of the cook-off and the results. Sounds good to me, because I'm gonna be the one of the judges. So
One of the judges, yeah.
Cooking in real time.
With the amount of people who said they're gonna be going, we're probably gonna have to cook 20 steaks.
Jeez. Nah, just
I mean,
I'll
I don't think I'll have a
just
full
give everybody
steak.
one piece.
No. But like,
I'll have a
if
full
it's
steak.
like-
I want 2 steaks. I don't want just 1 steak. Yeah, I like steak. I like steak, dude. Like, I love steak.
You can have zeros because this weirdo
No.
won't eat steak.
Yeah.
I have to say this. I know Ezekiel personally, and he likes his steak very rare. I hate that. I hate that crap. Do you guys like your steak like bleeding? Like it's,
yeah.
I can hear the freaking thing
Yeah,
moving.
I mean,
God.
you taste the flavor.
Not big on
like
that.
I like it.
You're
not
not
rare,
tasting
but
flavor.
medium
You're
rare.
tasting pure iron in the blood of the animal
Okay.
that was just killed.
Okay.
You're not
For
tasting
those of you,
flavor.
hold on. For those of you who are unaware, that's not actually blood.
Oh really? So
It's
you're telling me the
not
grass I'm tasting is not what they ate?
It's a type of syrup. It's not a sweet syrup, but it's a syrup to help the meat stay pink. It's not blood.
Well, still, it looks like blood to me. So my eyes are
That's
telling
why
me
it's
it's a
red.
no-go.
I didn't know. I've been in the industry for a long time. I just did not know that, man. I've always wondered. I'm like, oh, dude, today pouring it out. You know, when you open up a package, you pour out something that has blood in it. You pour out it's not blood, it's syrup. Sorry, and you pour it out.
Well, actually, I think
I'm a
if you-
medium, like my steak medium.
I don't
Medium
like
to
it
medium
anyway.
well.
I've tried it many different ways, and it's just disgusting. I can't because I chew it too much, then I just throw it up.
Yeah, my ideal steak is medium rare, unless the grill was just recently cleaned. Then I'll have a Chicago Blue Rare.
I don't know what the heck that is.
I
What
don't
kind
know
of rare is
what that
that?
means.
What kind of Chicago rare is that?
We
So
got the
I
cook
live in
here.
Chicago and I don't even know what that is, dude.
It's the outside
Explain.
seared with Cajun.
What is
I'm
it?
sorry. That English,
The
please.
Syrup with what?
The outside of the steak is seared,
Okay,
not syrup.
Okay.
It's seared with
Okay.
Cajun.
Okay. Okay.
That
interesting.
sounds good. Yeah, I love Cajun.
Still sounds disgusting, but okay.
I don't think I've ever had anything with Cajun.
But what?
Why did we start talking about
What?
steaks?
Hold on. Wait a second.
All right, so we need 2 new guests on the show.
Ouch. What's I going to say? Because Dino said she wanted to be a cook.
Cajun syrup is what they're asking.
Dino is a cook, though.
I'll eat that. I'll eat that.
Right, Dino?
Yeah, I have been cooking since I was about 5 years old, so almost 20 years now.
And when did you start working in the restaurant as a cook?
I was 16 as a busboy.
Mm.
You gotta start at that bottom, I understand.
Everyone starts somewhere.
Yep.
Mhm.
And now the last 3 jobs that I've been in, I've either been the lead cook or a supervisor. So
Nice.
Man,
I've never had a job.
Gotta get to that sous chef level.
I need to get my papers before I do that.
Yeah,
I was about to ask, what
Oh.
you wanted to be a chef when you were younger, and you're already a chef now. So what's next? Like, what are you wanting to?
Well, I haven't. Okay, it's no secret that I haven't gone to college or university because pretty much the only thing that I can go for now is culinary management, and like, I've already done entrepreneurship. I've already done I have my Smart Serve, I have my food safe handlers, I have my standard first aid and everything like that. So, and I'm running the health and safety team at my work now. I'm one of the only 2 kitchen supervisors, and just the only thing I can go back to school for is I'm already learning in the field. So
Yeah.
it's going to take me a little bit longer, but so this is
Gar
how I
looks
always
like he had
explain
something
it.
to say.
This is how I always explain it to my dad, because my dad was always like, why don't you go to school, go get your papers done, just get everything done. And I was like, okay, look at it this way. Would you rather somebody who has 5 years of school knowledge and book knowledge and never worked in the kitchen, or would you rather somebody who's worked 5 years in the kitchen actually getting their hands dirty?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't. Especially now, like it seems like everybody goes to school or has some sort of degree or certificate or
Certification.
Yeah, so it seems like everybody's got all these useless degrees and no work experience, and then it's like, yes, we want an entry level, secretary position with 4 years education and 6 years experience, and it's like, what the hell? I just went to school for 4 years. Like, Gaara, you're muted.
Yeah.
Hey, Dino, if you were in the States, man, like, dude, I'm gonna tell you, like, you don't even need no degree in cooking or that, bro. You do a stage and you're good, dude. Like, and with your resume, what you're telling me right now, what your food safe, your food handlers, your serve safe, your sanitation thing too, which is a big thing actually. Like, you can get a job anywhere in the city as a cooking, like a chef or anything like that.
You're already qualified. Yeah.
Yeah, you're qualified like 100%,
Anywhere,
man.
yeah.
Like in the state, you just go in a restaurant, show your resume, they give you a stage, like it's like outpay, show what you can do, and like they'll give you that job on spot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, that works out. And then Zyro, you're the young one here, so you're only 16. You're kind of still a kid. What have you wanted to do? What do you want to do?
So you want like everything or what?
What's the main thing? What's the main thing you wanted to do since you were little?
Wow. So I don't know. Everything took a bit of time. I wanted to be a police officer, fire truck driver. I wanted to be an actual truck driver. Then I realized I couldn't do that. So then
a little kid wanted to be at one point. Yeah.
I just
and
want
then
to be a
like
fire truck.
what?
I want to be a fire truck.
And then I
not a
figured out
firefighter. A fire truck.
Yeah. Oh my god. I figured out that you can die from fire, and fire really hurts. I was like, yeah, no, never mind.
That's kind of the thing.
Yeah. And then
Gets real pretty fast.
it does. Oh my god.
Read,
and then my
read
dad
Burley's
used to always
comment.
help.
I'm not gonna say it out loud, but
Only 16. I was almost attracted to you, Zyro. Aw, thank you very much. Police officer, how cute, yeah. But my dad used to help out with the local college with their plays and stuff like that. So he was like I forgot what you call it. It's like the person who helps with all the props and like does the behind the scenes stuff, moving stuff and stuff like that.
A stage manager.
Stagehand. He was a stage manager actually. Yeah, he was. And sometimes he'd man the cameras and everything. I just always loved doing that. So I wanted to be a cameraman. And then most recently, well, not most recently, but what stuck the longest is kind of like a director / producer. Everything behind the scenes like mass communications and film and stuff like that, video, and then I found esports, and then I wanted to be content manager and stuff like that, anything dealing with like YouTube and anything really content wise. So that's what I want to do.
Kind of evolving.
Yeah.
Chubby, when you were a little kid, little Chubby, what was he wanting to do?
You know, my stepdad and my dad, they've always asked me this many times, like throughout my life, and still to this day, I don't know what I want to do. Like, all I've known is work outside of, like, well, even when I was in high school and out of high school, like, all I knew was just to work, just to find a job and all that. And honestly, the job I have right now, I'm actually enjoying, and it's been giving me ideas of maybe pursuing being a mailman. Like, right now, what I do is I am part of a third company that has a contract with Amazon, so I'm just strictly delivering Amazon packages to houses, businesses, apartments, and all that. And you know, I'm actually having very fun with it. Like, just driving around, around cities. So technically, I'm staying in one as of right now because of the whole Black Friday season and Christmas season. But it's good. Keeps me on my feet. Keeps me active. That's what I always liked in like my past jobs. I've had a few where like I just sit down at a desk and I'm just bored out of my mind, and I can't cope with it. Like,
I can't do a desk job.
So you like the changing environments and
yeah, changing environments. Again, being on my feet, being active. Because what is it, like my first two jobs? They're both restaurant jobs. The second one I had, I've been there for like 3 years, and it was like it was nice, like being like, you know, in contact with the customer, like face to face and all that. I enjoy that more than just staring at a screen the entire time. And or just doing paperwork. It's just it's just mind numbing. But I mean, maybe a mailman as of right now. But again, just working,
Going
just
with the
working
flow.
as much as I can. Yeah.
I dig it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the main thing. Is I've always been big about is that's probably like one of the worst things that I could have in my life is a job that I hate, because you're at this place every day, almost all day, and if you're miserable, you're gonna have a miserable life. So why chase something if you're just gonna be miserable the whole time? And just chase something that you want to do and try to make it work. And if you want to be a mailman because you like being a damn mailman, then be a mailman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Burley's my new best friend.
Break out a song.
Nope. I don't sing actually.
so
I'm not even in the shower.
Aww. That's like the best time.
Tier 1 waifu. Oh god.
Whoa.
No.
What's that?
I don't know, but we're gonna move on to the next topic because we still got some topics to go through, and
That's right.
shows getting
Alright.
up there. So this one, I don't know how much is gonna affect everybody. I know myself, Gaara, and Zyro might have one. You guys may have streaming. What's your worst story when it comes to being a part of a team or an organization that you've been with in the past? It's just awful experience. Zyro, you look like you got a story to tell, so.
I got too many. Oh my god.
Alright, well, highlight one for us.
So, probably like the worst mistake of my life. Well, actually, it's led to good things. I had my own org, and I was doing pretty good. And then I listened to some people that told me that I had to have money in order to do this org because players wanted jerseys and players wanted to be sent places for a game that was in beta. But essentially, I looked for merging, and I found this organization, and they sounded all good. They had like a whole what is it called, like portfolio and stuff, but I neglected to look at the fact that it was from 3 years ago. And basically they were like, oh yeah, that, we're gonna do that, and then I took my entire team, every single bit of it, gave it all to this organization, and we did everything. We set up their Discord. We basically, I helped set it up, I helped grow it, I helped grow the team, I was pushing everything, I was doing a little bit of social media management, but then I was getting streamers, I was getting teams, everything like that, the whole 9 yards. And now, one owner lived in New Zealand, and the other one was here in the States, so the timing was always horrible with them. And then one person was doing one thing on their own, and one was doing spin-off, something like that. But basically, they didn't talk to us, they didn't do much at all, and we kind of just ended up leaving everyone because they were just like, to all content creators, they wanted to contract content creators, which I hated. And the way they worded it was that they were supposed to own all of their content while contracted under the organization. I didn't like the way that was, but essentially it was kind of just like they weren't there.
Yeah.
And they just took everything and didn't run with it. You know what I mean?
But it wasn't like you weren't like a licensed like LLC or anything like that.
No, not at all.
You didn't have to
No.
deal with like ownership and equity and none of that.
No. It was just like, as far as I know, it was a couple of guys who enjoyed esports, and one guy had been to various conferences and met with other esports organization owners, and he was working on stuff, just constantly working on stuff. Like, we had a sponsor, I think, or maybe it was a partnership, not even a sponsor, a partnership, I think. But the problem was, we weren't with their global sector, we were with their New Zealand specific sector. And when you tried to buy something from that specific sector, you couldn't because we're in the US, so it kind of sucked. But it was like up and down here. It just kind of frustrated me that they weren't really like matching my energy, and that they took my entire organization that I literally worked like a month and a half on, day in day night, on phone calls with various players and people trying to get things done, and it all went to crap. So that was horrible. I have many more stories like that, unfortunately. That was like the worst.
It's part of getting involved with esports, and there's a million different orgs out there, but it's all diluted. It's all, 99.9% of them don't get past, that beginner stage. So
Yeah.
Gaara, What's you got any bad team stories, bad org experiences?
I mean, I just have a bad team story that
Hold on. First of all, Burley, shut up. Second of all, okay, go ahead.
Ultimate horror story.
I love this.
Play the clip.
Go ahead, Gaara. Continue.
It was so when we made CL Challenger League and everything like that. I was playing with Praised. He was an ex-pro on Xbox and everything.
Are you gonna call him out by name on stream?
I'm gonna call him out, bro. I don't care, dude. To be honest with you, dude, he needs. It's not me calling him out. It's just saying it was just bad.
That's what happened.
Bad team, dude. It was the worst team. Like, this man was just a horrible teammate. He was a good player. Don't get me wrong, dude. He could get kills and everything like that, but he bring the morale of the team down. I felt like it was just like he was just mean, dude.
He was like
rager. Rager, bro. Just like rage, man. It's like I don't know if he was doing steroids or something like that or something like. But dude, that man was raging. I'm just like sitting there like I can't deal with this, dude. And then he tried to sneak my team from behind my back. And like which I was like, I had screenshots of it and everything like that, and it just bring everything down. It bring my morale down. Like, I barely wanted to play anymore. I was in CL. I fucking finally almost made it to Pro League, which I've been grinding and for 2.5 years, man, just to get to a point right here for Rainbow. And you know how it is, man. Like, and it just put everything down. We failed. We lost both our matches. One against Prophet's team, my homie Dave, and then one against Goddess's team, which was Beast Coast at the time, and we lost to them. And yeah, I hate Praise.
That's the moral of the story. Is Praise ruined the team.
Praise ruined it, bro.
Dino, have you been a part of any bad stream teams? Just anything like that?
No, I haven't really. Like, this is probably the first esports org or team, or even any team at all, really, that I've been a part of. So I guess the only bad experience I had was just before you let go of one of our teams, the PUBG team.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had for those that don't know, we had a PUBG
That
team.
guy talked a big game, dude. That guy, I swear to God, bro.
When you were talking your story, I was like, this is oddly familiar.
So essentially, we picked up a PUBG team who was, they were an amateur team, as most amateur teams. They're pretty newly formed. They're, they got an ambition to make it to that next level. They're looking for that support so that they can worry about competing. We talked to this guy, like they said, he talked a good game. He had us. We thought that it was legitimate. He was going to be a player with a lot of potential. He knew what he really wanted. He took it really serious. That's exactly what we wanted on Tier 1. He was very passionate about the game, about the team. Problem was that he told us the team had a little bit more experience than what they really had. And it turned out that they had never even practiced together. That it was just a bunch of guys that were like, hey, like, this org's like looking for a team, let's just throw one together. So it turned out
3 weeks.
Yeah, they had never even practiced together. So we put them in a competition. Luckily it wasn't paid to enter. So we contracted them, but we didn't have to pay to enter this competition. We watched them and they got smoked. They got absolutely torched. Like, looked like they didn't know what they were doing. And then I was just like, what just happened? Like, they probably just had a bad day, whatever. I was like, okay, it's cool. Like, let's just jump into some practice. Like, let's get scrim scheduled. Like, let's get to business. And so anyway, days went by. They never practiced, kept up with them. And they never got into any scrims or anything. And then the team captain that we were talking so highly about, we thought had so much potential, decided to cuss out all of his teammates in our Discord and then tell them how worthless they were and pathetic, and then Dino jumped
a little bit more vulgar than that, but that's the PG version.
Yeah, that's the PG version. And then Dino came in and was like, dude, don't be a douchebag. And then he was like, nah, like, you can get some too, so.
Dude, yeah,
that's a nice shot.
And then I had to come in, I was like, oh, okay, you don't talk to Mom that way, so we had to avoid that contract real fast.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah, that was a bad team experience from an org owner's perspective.
Yeah,
Chubby?
and then
Oh wait, go ahead, Dino.
there was another PUBG team that I knew, so I was gonna slowly bring up the idea of Tier 1 to them, and the way that he had shot me down was so toxic and everything like that.
You're not
He's
big
sitting
enough.
there-
You're not good enough.
Yeah, he's like, I have too much self-respect to join Tier 1 and blah 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 blah, and literally he has no he's a top fragger, so he's a good player. I'll leave him to admit to it. But him and his team have nothing on their resume to be
They've
like,
accomplished absolutely nothing, but yet they ego.
yeah, ego boosting, asking
Never
for
before.
salary, blah 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 blah, everything like this. So it's like, okay, well, bye.
Yeah.
I've gotten that so many times. Like the freaking my team was called what, Prawn Galaxy. Everyone was like, I don't want to join a team that's called the Shrimps. I don't want to be called the Shrimp. Oh my god, the Shrimp, the Shrimp, the Shrimp.
And there goes
I got egoed so many times. It was ridiculous. And then people didn't want to respect me because I'm 16. Like, you don't know jack squat about anything. I'm like, okay then, go ahead.
Yeah, it
We'll see.
happens. Chubby, have you been a part of any teams, any stream teams, anything?
Well, like Dino, Tier 1, it's my first team I've ever been with. Like in the past, I've just been like with groups of friends, like, and I guess we would call ourselves a team. But yeah, it'd just be like a regular group of friends that I'd play with, whether it was like back in my days on Xbox when I played Titanfall 2 a lot, or on PC when I used to play Rainbow Six like all the time. But yeah, no one that was like an official organization like Tier 1.
So you're lucky enough to not have any horror stories.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just have to see what the future holds.
Yeah, well, not here, Chubby.
Not here.
Not here.
What about you?
Oh, I got
yeah.
I got a real bad one. This one probably tops everybody's, to be honest, because I got played like hard. So this is kind of why Tier 1 was formed, actually. So here's a little backstory on how Tier 1 was formed, because I didn't want players to go through this same thing. Now, keep in mind, so you already talked about it a little bit. You had Challenger League for PC Rainbow. It's essentially the semi-pro. I hear you typing over there. Anyway,
Oops.
It's essentially the semi-pro division ran by ESL to get into Pro League. Well, that was after Pro League left Xbox. It used to be Xbox and PC. Now it's just PC. It was on Xbox for a year. So after it left, I didn't have a PC at the time, so I still competed on Xbox. What they did was replaced Pro League on Xbox with a league called Major League, which was essentially like Challenger League on PC. $5,000 prize pool. You know, it ran the same schedule, same format as Challenger League. And so I didn't take that as seriously as when Pro League was around, but, you know, 5K is 5K. So I still played, even though a lot of the best players were gone, whatnot. Anyway, form a team, and basically took a team of just like, if you play a Rainbow, ranked stars, just guys that have never really played comp. They just played ranked, and I, you know, met them through the ranking system. So took these guys, kind of showed them the ropes, and we played in the qualifier, and we won one of the qualifiers, like won the whole thing. And so after that, we were like, okay, well, we're in the first ever Major League by ESL. They were, you know, talking about how they were going to cast it and everything. So we're like, okay, well, let's. After that, I think our match was casted by a member of the community, and then we got contacted by an org, and he messaged me and sent a real professional message. You know, small organization looking to grow. That, you know, they're not crazy big. They can't fund, you know, all this stuff. But, you know, it's a 5K online league. We're not needing any of that anyway. But, you know, he talked like he was, you know, doing something serious, like he had a plan. So we were like, okay, well, let's talk with them. And anyway, we really liked what this guy had to say. We started talking about contracts. So Major League kind of took about 3 to 4 months per season, and we started talking about contracts. Contract length was about 6 months, and you know, like a $1,000 buyout, 6 month contract length, and then it was just kind of like, okay, well, we did our research. Org was real professional. The branding was real serious. We joined all their stuff. It was, everything checked out. They hit all the marks. And so we started playing for this org. And we noticed in their Discord that things started getting a little fishy because the owner of the org, his name was Leo. And so we thought, so we learned, or let me see how I can best explain this. So it was essentially this Italian guy who lived in Chicago, and they were starting this org. They're talking about getting their paperwork, turning it into a proper business and everything. And that's when we joined. Well, it was funny that his name was Leo, and the org was called The Pride, and it was a lion, like Leo the lion. And so I was like, oh, okay, he did that on purpose. He's the owner of the org, like his name's Leo. So he wanted to do that. But that was just one of the funny things. It was kind of like, okay, that's kind of weird. Well, anyway, we looked this guy up more, found out that this guy didn't exist, that this Leo, whatever his last name, wasn't a real person. And I was like, hold on, I just signed a contract with this guy, and he's not a real person. And anyway, we dove into it more, and one of the designers for the organization ended up leaving the organization. I contacted him. I was like, hey, what's up? Like, this Leo guy isn't real. He disappeared. We can't find anything on him. The co-owner is like being disrespectful to us. We're wanting to void our contracts because things are getting fishy. And I was like, hey, like, we want to, get rid of our contracts. We don't even want to play for another org or anything. Like, you guys aren't really upholding your end of the deal. Like, nothing's really going on. Things are fishy. And then the co-owner was like, no, like, you guys are stuck. Like, take me to court. Like, like, being a dick. So I contacted that designer who left, and he's like, yeah, Leo is completely fake. You signed a contract with nobody. And I was like, really? So it turned out one of the Rocket League players, because it was our team and a Rocket League team, one of the Rocket League players was the real owner of the org, and he created a fake alias to start the org under because he wasn't 18 yet, and tried to talk all this game about all these investments and licensing, and he was talking with something to do with becoming like the official team of Chicago. Anyway, he talked a good game, and he had good proof and everything, but he wasn't even 18. Created this fake alias. Luckily, we signed with a fake alias so we could just get out of our contract. It's not a real contract, so we were able to just get out of it without having to do anything. But yeah, that was interesting because we thought it was like a legit thing that we were getting into. It had thousands of followers. You know what I mean? Like, this guy really faked it till he was gonna fake it till he made it.
Wow, that has to be illegal in some way. Like,
yeah, like, I don't know. It was too small for us to worry about because I was like, fuck it. Like, screw it. He signed a fake name, so I was like, whatever. Your contract means nothing then. So see ya.
Okay. Wow. That does trump everything.
Yeah, that's just still blows my mind. And funny enough, he actually played when we were coming into the scene as Tier 1 to Ironsight to host events and stuff. He was actually a competitive player in Ironsight, so I ran into him again, and he stopped competing in Ironsight the second that we came into the scene. So
I gotta know who that is later.
I don't even know what his name is anymore, what he goes by, but
okay. Wow.
Yeah,
that's juicy.
It's a little too real when contracts and real money are involved.
Yeah. So
that's why I always held off on contracts until I was gonna hold off on contract until I could actually provide something, so I'm not just like, no one feels like I'm just keeping them there for no reason. Yeah. But and also me being this age, I didn't want to contract anybody.
I go into things like wholeheartedly, so like I do my research and everything. Like I said, like this kid like he had his stuff figured out. Like, he thought this out. Like, he had his proof, everything. It wasn't until I really like looked up the records on this Leo guy that found out that he was a fake person. And so that was a little shot to my ego. I'm like, dang, like this 17-year-old kid got me.
I remember that Ironsight when you guys first came in, and like I started as a caster for you guys for the league, and I watched a team get picked up by an org, throw money involved and everything. They lost their first map, and the org immediately dropped them and pulled out. Just done. Bye.
Which one was that one? I feel like that happened to a lot of teams because I really did. I thought that happened to a lot of teams.
I know there was STDX. They broke up after, or the Iron Sight team was let go after our league.
Their Iron Sight team was held to $20,000 contracts, by the way. An Iron Sight team with $20K buyout per player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll play a game that's not even released for $20K. Yeah.
There's
I'll do
you
that.
couldn't earn
That's
20K in Iron
crazy.
Sight in a year, yet they had 20K contracts, year-long 20K buyouts per player.
Did they get a severance
They-
package or
They
anything?
had 5 players, so that's 100K to get that full team out of contracts.
Wow.
So yeah, you
Wow.
got to be careful when you're talking with orgs and you're talking about contracting. Contracting as a player, if you are going to be a serious player, contracting with an org is a smart move. Don't be scared to get into a contract with a serious org, but do your homework and be careful when you do it. That's why when we contract our players, I contract them typically for about 3 months, and it depends, of course, on the scene, the leagues that are going on, what kind of money can be earned in that time. What the org's getting, what the players are getting. So there's some variables that go with it, but check the contracts. Don't get into anything too long term. It's esports. So much changes within a week of esports.
Yeah.
So be careful. Don't trap yourself. Get people to look over it with you. If you're younger, get your parents
For
or
sure.
whatever to help you look it over. Make sure it's legit.
Yeah.
But don't be scared of it either. All right, so we're gonna move to our next topic. Let's see, where are we at? We're at 51 minutes, so yeah, we need to move on. So we talked about esports a little bit. So now we're gonna move on to our next segment, actually, and it's called Getting Serious. So this segment, we're basically I'm gonna ask each of you guys a pretty serious, life question, and I should say getting serious as you guys are laughing and Jesus.
Just tell me I did that at the same time.
Gaara, since you're the only one being mature here.
What?
Anyway, getting serious. Here
So
we
you
go.
mean it-
Gaara, we're starting with you. Ready? What bad habits do you need to get rid of in your life?
Oh shit.
That's real serious.
Oh man, dude, I gotta learn how to save money better. That's like a big issue. I mean, I have 2 kids now, so you gotta learn how to save money. Stop
You have
buying
no
the most
money to
expensive thing. Yeah, kind of, yeah. It's like what to buy. Stop buying the most expensive thing. Go with the cheaper brand.
Generic brands at the store.
Yeah, dude.
Generic brand save your life. Trust me.
If they give you the same output, don't buy the better or the more
I
expensive.
just
I'm gonna have to blur that out now. We gotta talk with
snap,
them,
got it,
get
my
an
bad.
endorsement. Otherwise, we're gonna get sued.
Hey, Walmart off-brand, you wanna-
that's well, I just need to stop buying more expensive things.
Yeah. So that's your
Wow.
your main bad habit you need to get rid of. What about your
Yeah.
NOS addiction? Your
That's not addiction, dude. I stopped. I mean,
with the
I don't-
empty NOS can in his hand. I stopped.
Stop.
no, dude.
it.
I slowed down, bro. I used to drink a lot of Red Bull, and this is a little bit better. I feel like. I mean, I'm not drinking as much as I used to. I drink 1 can, only when I game, dude. Only when I game, and
There's more sugar in us than.
It explains a lot.
yeah,
I have a company, but only if we get a brand deal with them.
I wish we could get sponsored by NOS. It'd be awesome.
I've been seeing this one drink I've been drinking now.
What is
I
it?
don't know what it's called. It looks like a crosshair. I forgot what it's called.
Oh,
Is it-
Bang.
Bang. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I heard it's really good.
I'm gonna Google that.
All right. Moving on to the next Getting Serious Dino. What is the most important thing that you want to accomplish in your life? What's the most important thing in your life for you to do?
Be financially stable and comfortable.
So that's the most important thing. You just want to have the freedom, the financial freedom.
Exactly that. I don't want to have to constantly be micromanaging my paychecks. Exactly like Gaara was saying. It's like learning how to save money and actually spending money where I need to spend money and not spending on what I want, just what I need, versus like going out to dinner with my friends once a week because I can, right? I want to be able to not worry if I want to go do something, am I going to be able to pay my next month's bills? All right.
It's a hard thing, man. I understand you. I know that's just being a. You gotta know what's you got your needs and your.
Your mic's cutting out, by the way, Gaara, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
But,
So all the mic, please.
But moving on, Chubby, we're gonna move on to you. What's the one thing you need to do better in life?
Save money.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm in the hole too. But,
So basically, we're all broke, and we need
Say that again.
We're waiting for Twitch to take off.
Yeah, come on, touch. Can we get partnerships, please?
But yeah, I mean,
Subscribe.
Please follow the channel and help
If
us.
you link your Amazon account,
If you link
we're
your
plugging
Amazon
that.
in the top right corner.
What is it? Yeah, you don't get free ads anymore.
yeah.
Saving money, like for me, everybody, we all have bills. Like for me, I need a new car. Like ever since I had the car I have right now, it's still my first car, and ever since I had it, I've always had to put so much money down for fixtures, and I pretty much paid more money in fixing it than actually purchasing the car. So that's always been a trouble for me.
at least you have
And yeah, insurance, all that, and like, my phone bill. Like I used to just pay for the service. Now I got a new phone through my carrier, so now my bill has gone up. And credit cards, well, I only have the one, but still, it's another expense. Like, I had to take care of.
Yep.
And then
That can
there's
get
all
ahead
the
of you.
wants that I want.
It's hard to save money when you play video games too. All these video games that come out, you want to stream. And you're like, oh, I can just stream them, and I'll maybe make the money back.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen like that. We're playing the exact same game.
I'll make the money back in like 3 years.
Yeah.
It's not so bad. Like for me, as far as like streaming, like getting money from there, like I'm fine with like the games I have. Like I don't really need more games. It's more just the hardware. Like I always want like a good hardware. Try to focus on
Gaara's
that,
about
like,
to cry. He's telling you to preach.
Say it again.
I want my stream to look nice. I want to have a good output, so everybody can enjoy on multiple resolutions and all that. So get as many viewers as I can with the setup I have, and maybe even like going a step further and creating like a whole streaming PC to ease the trafficking of upload and download speeds. But again, a whole lot of money has to go to it, and I just don't have it right now. Plus, on the side, I collect vinyl, so if there's an album I really want, I have a bad time telling myself not to get it.
I feel you.
I actually started an Amazon wish list, and I have it next to my donation button
Whoa.
for stream upgrades.
Clever.
Hey, Christmas is coming up.
Get it out of
Christmas.
sight.
Christmas, my
Forget about
birthday.
We're all broke.
Zyro, you're next, buddy.
Well, obviously, of course, saving money. But I'm not gonna
New
say
question.
that.
New question.
I mean,
New question.
no, I got
You
it.
can't have save money. This one, you can't have save money for this one. Right?
I mean, I'm about to drop $300 to $400 on a fish tank, but something I need to work on probably is like, I guess being nice to every
new
person.
question. You cannot.
No, really?
New question.
Okay.
Yeah.
What person in your life do you love the most? So you can't save money because that's not a person.
Is that directed towards me right now?
Yes, that is you. What person in your life
Jesus
do you
Christ.
love the most?
I plead the fifth.
Mom, dad, sibling, grandma.
I really don't have one, honestly. I really don't,
Just screw
honestly.
you all. I don't like anybody. Just
Dang.
Well, everyone has their time. Everyone has their time. But
I love myself.
Yeah, myself. No, I don't love myself. Okay.
Ah.
Well, I don't know. Let's
you gotta
just
pick
say
one. You gotta pick one. Pick somebody.
Crap.
If you can't decide, pick somebody.
Then I'm gonna say Ezekiel, you still in the chat? Yeah, him. Yeah, I know my IRL. Yeah, him.
Got out of that one cheaply. All right, moving on to the last and final segment of the show. We are reaching the hour-long mark, so let's see how long this one goes. This one is Deep Thoughts. This is to close out the show. Our deep thought of the night is, are aliens real?
Do 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 do.
Cue Illuminati music.
So chat, go ahead, chat, for real. I want you guys, Shallon, Burley, everybody, do you think aliens are real? And why, or why not? And so we'll be reading your why or why not here in a second. But Gaara, you've been talking about these alien shows you've been watching. Are aliens real?
Dude, it was just crazy when we were just talking about like starting the script up, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna talk about are aliens real on our Deep Thoughts segment." I'm like, "Oh, dude, are you like reading my mind or something, dude? Like that's some probe stuff." You know, like because like so
we're
the past couple nights, yeah, dude, I'm thinking you weirdos, dude. Like I've been thinking, like me and my girlfriend Anna, we've been watching alien shows on Netflix, like for the past 2 nights, dude, before we fall asleep. Not a good idea, to be honest with you. So we're watching this one. It's called the abduction of the story of Stan, something Stan, and man, this dude. It like his story sounded so real, and it like seemed so real, like the evidence he had and everything. It's just like how could you not believe that? Like
so you believe he got abducted?
Oh yeah, but I believe in aliens 100%, man. Dude,
you believe they abduct people? They
have. I mean, I don't think they're
crops and.
I mean, how's that stuff happen? This man had like alien symbols, it looked like, bro, on his arm. Dude,
that's just called getting drunk and not.
Yeah, no, have a tattoo,
that's not called getting drunk. No, it's not a tattoo. I am not messing with you guys, dude. This guy like had some scars, like and stuff, and like this girl was calling his house, like that's like it was. Watch it, just watch it. Just watch it, dude.
So like, that you're 100%. You think aliens are real? And
100%.
And you think they're like advanced, flying around, like. They know we're here, they're here.
The universe is a big thing. We haven't even explored like literally 10% of the universe. That's how big it is. It's huge.
Not even less than that. We don't even
know. I don't know how much less. Yeah. It's huge.
So you think there's intelligent
life forms out there? Yes. I mean, how did we get our technology, man? That's not personally like how we get the internet.
How could we have ever invented something useful?
Dude, like how? Like what compels you to think, oh hey man, let's connect this and then we'll have internet? Like, okay, aliens. Okay, aliens.
Okay, well we know who the crazy one here is. Chubby, do you believe in aliens?
I mean, I'll go as far as to say like what Gaara said, like, we've only discovered so much about the universe around us that, there's so much more to it, and, anything can be out there. But as far as, like, aliens specifically, every time I think of aliens, I just think of that one part in Independence Day when Will Smith says, "Welcome to Earth," and punches the alien in the face. What is it? I don't know. Like, I'm not too big on aliens. I'm more into, like, spirits, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Because there's been a lot of contact in like different in different points of time with different people and all that, and so many stories have come out of like spirits still lingering around Earth. But
I got some stories with that one, but we need to save that one for another another episode. But you believe aliens are out there somewhere?
Somewhere. They're out there somewhere.
Dino, what about you? Aliens, they out there? They here? Are they abducting people like Gaara says? Probing your cattle and...
One of us could be. But I agree with both in a way. Like, there's the whole... Like, the universe is ever expanding and we're constantly still searching and everything like that. Like, the fact that we're... To quote, Lil Dicky, how are we the only anomaly, right?
Yep. Shout out to Lil Dicky.
obviously we're not getting our technology from them, because then somebody would have to admit that it is a real thing, and like Area 51 and everything like that, like these don't exist. But are we alone in this universe? I don't think so.
Zyro, alien.
I don't know, honestly. I mean, I've about talking about to a lot of people who are science oriented and who have studied.
First of all, yeah, Burley brings up a good point. You're talking about a scientific, deep conversation here, and you quoted Lil Dicky. Just
Yep.
He brought a good point. He brought up a good point.
So,
Well,
Zyro.
It's innocent.
I kind of don't know. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people who are science oriented, have gone to college and stuff and studied science and everything. But personally, I think that for us to have not explored most of our universe, and for us to say that there's that much out there, there has to be some way that there's something out there. Like, I believe that they may be of higher technology and that we can't like reach them. The way, like, the best way I can explain is like you know how in Star Trek and Star Wars and stuff they had like the
Light
fast
speed.
travel, light of speed. That's what it's called. We don't have that yet, so we probably can't reach anything like that. But there probably is something out there that far away. We just don't have that kind of technology yet.
And we're not there yet.
We're not there. We're just a little too dumb. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that kind of like brings up a good point. Like getting into like the serious like sciencey stuff is because we don't even really know what the universe is, right? Like it's still all a theory. So like you got the theory that there's parallel universes, that there's just that universes are almost layered in the fact that that almost to the extent that say there's another universe and all of us are in it right now, and we didn't have this podcast tonight, or one of us died one day in that universe, but we're not dead in this universe, you know what I mean? Or it's to say that maybe after your life ends in this universe, you carry on to the next one, that kind of thing, or that there's just infinite universes going on at the same time that carries on every possibility that could have ever happened to you. And so that's a theory, the theory that the universe is ever expanding. And some people have said that there's evidence to prove that the universe is actually shrinking in now, but at the end of the day, it is all just theories. And,
my theory is that we're all one big game of Sims, and we're being controlled.
You do have the simulation theory that we're actually...
He's onto something.
Yeah, that we're actually all just a computer program, that we're all a simulation. And
that actually is really funny that you said that, Zyro, because I always have this, that you have something in your head that you're like, I need to go do this. The second you walk into a new doorway, the second you step over the doorway,
the threshold,
it's gone from your brain.
Yeah.
Right? I call that the Sims effect. Somebody above you has deleted that action from your taskbar.
No, you're not allowed.
Yeah. What? We're on too much.
It's crazy when you
need
think
to go
about
deeper.
all the different possibilities. Same with like deja vu. They say that like with parallel universes, that deja vu is you have actually already had that happen in a previous universe and it crossed, and that's why you get that deja vu feeling, because you at that moment you partially linked with your other self in a different universe where
There's
that
that
same
much of
thing
matrix.
happened.
I don't know about that. I learned in psychology that there was like your brain doesn't fully process like something, or your brain doesn't click in your brain yet. So you saw it, but you didn't process it, and then your brain reprocesses it, and it's like something like that.
Yeah, but it's
Shout out
still
to
not
Dr.
proven.
Hubert.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
It's still not.
Oh, it isn't? Okay.
Yeah,
I've been lied to.
that's
So
the
then with
idea behind
people-
it. But
With multiple personalities, is that them fighting with their parallel universe?
the like the leading theory on that is a little bit deeper with psychology, so they have a better idea of what that is. That actually has to stem from like childhood trauma, I believe, is like the main thing.
Yeah.
It's like from below like 2 years and younger, people that go through childhood trauma, that's actually like a defense mechanism, because they build that personality as like either somebody that comforts them, or they get into that mindset whenever they're being abused or whatever, because that's how they block it out, and then they carry that into adulthood, and that personality comes with them, so it stays with them. But anyway, that's a whole other thing on its own. But
You did your homework on this, man.
I mean, I watched some of this stuff, and what I thought was really cool It's because like you said, the universe, like how big it is, like, and how limited we are with technology. There's like no way that we're just like one little miracle and that's it. That's all the universe had to offer. And it's like, and then now, like, think of it, how many, like, almost every day they're finding new planets that they find in the Goldilocks zone where it could have water, liquid water, and it's far enough from the sun where it's, not going to burn, and it's not too far to where everything's going to be frozen. So they're finding planets in other solar systems every day that could be habitable. So it's
ours or bust.
So
I love liquid water.
Yeah. So it's just like crazy. You gotta think that there's like, some sort of life. But it comes to the question is like, we've only, like, if you think about like how old everything is around us, humans have only been here for like less than a snap of a finger in universe terms. Like
Thanos has a key to it all.
Yeah. So like we're literally like barely, humans just got here technically. Like the universe has been going on for trillions of years without us. So like,
that's crazy, actually. Yeah, I used to think that we started that the current human race started after like the destruction of like another planet or some kind of other human race or something like that.
No, like even with Earth is like such a young planet. Our sun is still relatively young, and humans, like if you look at a timeline, humans have only been here for like less than 1% of the time that Earth has been created. So like we think that like, we have all this history, we've been here for so long, but in relative terms to like the universe, we have not been here for anything. Like we just got here. Like we were just born, you know what I mean? Like as a human race. So it's
we should have been to the party.
So people think, like scientists think that like there's a leading theory now where they basically think of life as hurdles. So they think, like it's hard to know like if there's aliens, like are they intelligent? Are they more intelligent than us? Are they just like microbes? What would alien life look like? It could be something that we couldn't even imagine, because scientists are thinking of it basically as hurdles. So they think for life to happen, you have these certain hurdles as life is created, because obviously we've had the dinosaurs and then that didn't work out, and then like life has these hurdles that they go through. So you start out as a microbe or whatever, and you hit that next hurdle, you turn into a larger organism and the bottom of the sea, and then you get that next hurdle, you start evolving, start getting onto land, you hit that next hurdle, you start becoming intelligent, you're able to communicate with each other, and and create languages, stuff like that. Then you have us, and then it's like, what's the next hurdles? Because every life form that we've known has to get through these hurdles of like, mass extinction and plague and, communication. Now we're at the internet age, and the internet wasn't even fathomed 40 years ago. And then now it's like, that's a key part of life. So like, what's our next hurdle with technology and the universe? And, what if other life somewhere else has already gotten through all these hurdles? Or what if we're the only one who's gotten this far? So if there is other life and it's more intelligent, what's to say that it's not like so far advanced that we couldn't even communicate with it? What if we're like an ant compared to it? We see ants, we know they're there, and they know we're here, but they can't communicate with us. They don't understand what we are. They don't understand anything that we do. But they
probably don't even understand the same languages, if anything.
Right.
Well, yeah, like their communication, like their senses.
What even is language to them? Honestly.
I mean, yeah, like.
What is that movie?
It's so deep. The ant bully.
No, there's a movie about
Interstellar.
No.
I was gonna bring up Interstellar. Oh my god, the whole wormhole thing, and then like actually somewhat traveling through time, but also being part of time. It was so weird.
Yeah, that's another crazy thing to think about. It's just because, like, we only have our senses, right? We got taste, smell, sight, hear, you know what I mean? So, like, scientists have proven that, like, 97.8% of whatever's around us, we can't even detect. Like, our senses don't even know it's there. So, like, dark energy, dark matter, it makes up over 97% of the universe, and we can't even figure out if it's there because we can't see it, we can't smell it, we can't hear it. We don't have the senses to be able to know it's there. The only reason we know it's there is because we built particle accelerators, and these machines and programs told us that there's more matter and energy than what we can see, and that's how we know it's there. But as a human, we don't have the senses to read that. So think about that. Not only do we not know all about this inner universe with planets and suns and whatnot that we can physically see and hear, and microwaves and all that, like we can figure that that's there, but what about the 97% that we have no clue about? Like it could literally be anything.
Holy crap, you just got me like super self-conscious and like superstitious, dude. I'm not gonna trust anything anymore.
But
I'm gonna
goes to show,
I'm gonna go tell my professors they're all wrong.
The movie that I was thinking of is Arrival.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. Yeah. The aliens, they come and they have a different communication system, and she has to figure out how to communicate.
That's the one where like they like manipulate plants, right? Something like that.
No.
The one on Netflix.
You're talking about The Martian or
I got you,
something.
Dino, the one
Yeah.
on Netflix. The one with John Leguizamo or something like that.
And Jeremy Renner and
and the guy from Luke Cage.
Amy Adams. Yeah.
That was a good movie. That was mind blowing. I did not expect
2016.
that. I did not expect that, dude.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different movie.
No, watch it. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
It's really good. Yeah. It's a little bit slow, but like it explains the whole communication issue that Osiris was talking about, like having to learn to communicate with these beings who don't understand a language. Right, so
I mean that
it's
it's still
interesting.
like speaking in like terms of like that's still relatively human when you talk about aliens, because like I said, like we could literally not even fathom what they could be like. They could be molecules, like floating waves, you know what I mean? Like they don't have to be matter that's grouped up like us. We're a bunch of water and cells, and what if they're literally just particles and waves, and like it could literally be anything, like because we don't know what life is. Like we only understand the universe on what we can sense. So
what if they are a type of matter, but it's so fine or like something we can't sense to the point to where they're literally like right next to us, but we don't know it?
yeah, same with like spirits and stuff.
Holy
People
crap.
have said that, people have said that like spirits are a big thing in the universe because like we don't have the senses technically to like get into that realm other than like the
ectoplasm.
But yeah, that's like another thing.
I'm not going to sleep tonight. Thank you very much.
I know a common thing. I know a common thing with like spirits, like they've covered it in multiple movies, and I'm not sure if it's like a thing that people actually bring up, but what is it, like spirits? They're very reacted to like electromagnetic things. Like that's why in Paranormal Activity 2 they manipulated the Xbox Kinect with its like infrared lights, like at night that you can't see, and it's a whole thing with technology that they react to.
Yeah, and it's like they say like when thunderstorms are happening, and it's you got all these electrical storms and stuff like that. They say that's when like energy picks up. They even say with like spirit. Like I said, we need to stop getting into this because we need to save that for another segment. But they also do say that like spirits feed off of energy. Like if you are a very negative person and like say you have a negative household, like spirits feed off of
as
that.
They would say.
Yeah, so like
wow.
So like have you ever noticed like people carry vibes with them, right? They have an aura, and like it's not like you can feel it or touch it or whatever, but it's this like other sense that like people have that vibe about them. And then they say that like spirits are kind of like that, like they have like everybody has their own energy, and spirits have their own energy, and they react off of your energy. So if you're a very negative like destructive person, you're more likely to attract like negative energy and spirits throughout the rest of your life. And then it's kind of like you say, like life is what you make it, because like if you're not a positive, like you're not speaking it into the universe, you're typically not going to get it, because for whatever reason your energy just carries on with you, and you like attract what you get, like you get what's coming to you, kind of thing. So
I think we should go ahead and reach out to Sci-Fi to sponsor our podcast.
Yeah, I think we need to save that Spirit one for the next one. We can talk about that, but yeah, we need to get this closed out. We're at an hour and 20 minutes, so we've been in here.
I've been listening, Dino. I've been listening. You know,
and you just cut out.
Because it's like he's true on every single matter, dude. I'm just like, okay, for sure.
In the end, everybody needs to stay woke.
Yeah, stay woke.
Yeah.
2018. Okay?
2019. 2018's over.
Yeah.
Almost. But
2018's old news.
Yeah.
For another time, but I've expanded my mind a lot, fucking, and yeah, dude.
Have an open mind.
I've actually gained brain cells.
Okay, do we want to do like 10 minutes of questions and then we'll end it, make it 1:30 or hour 30, and then that'd be it?
Sure.
I have to pee, so.
That's where we cut it, folks.
We're ending it, yeah. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed everything and
Monkey TLS.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We will be back next week, hopefully Wednesday night as well. We had Gaara, Chubby, Dino, and Zyro, whatever. He's got a Y in his name, Zyro.
Had to play on spelling.
You had us 5 for this week. Next week, we're going to try to bring on some new guests, some different streamers, competitive players. Talk a little bit more about some esports stuff, as well as, like with some of our more serious life segments. So thank you guys for tuning into episode 1. You can catch it on YouTube or we're going to have all sorts of links. Just check the Twitter. We'll have it posted hopefully tomorrow. So thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, no problem, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.